Plus 3 XP.
Plus 3 XP. Here we are playing The Witcher 3. So the way we're going to do this is actually going to be kind of fun. We've recorded a bunch of video of this game, one of which is a complete little side quest that I'm going to give to Mike and Joe for when they record on their own. No subtitles, nothing. So we'll see how they experience the game, because that's actually going to be published before this one probably. So we'll see how that one goes. So, Witcher 3, here you are. You're Gary of Rivia, the Witcher. Witcher is a dude that hunts down monsters. They gave him a whole bunch of glopped up mutagens. So you'll see in a few minutes he's got pretty great little cat eyes. Beyond that, he runs around all over the land, meeting people who have monsters to kill. And he's all like, hey, I can help with that. That's me, the monster killing guy. So the way that it works is, and you'll see this here, a fun little mini game. When you walk around in a new town, you'll eventually find somebody who has, gargoyles that need to be killed or whatever. And you have a little negotiation on what you should be paid. And then you can get some more information. And it's kind of neat because in a lot of ways, The Witcher is like a very successful detective game, because you see his little snake eyes there. He has all these enhanced senses that let him see foot tracks and smell things and hear things better than any human could, a non-modified human. So you get to investigate the little crime scenes where the monsters have attacked, and you interview people and you find clues, and depending on how thorough your research is, you get, how to sort of attack the monster more effectively. So if you do all the proper research and get all the information you need, you'll get a little prop saying, hey, you remember that these gargoyles are, vulnerable to this kind of poison or this kind of bomb or whatever. And it's fun. It actually makes all the side quests really engaging. And it fleshes out the sort of little otherwise nondescript communities. So this one looks like there's I forget how this one goes. Something about a groom, as per the name. So it's fun. I'm really liking the game a lot. It's really hard when you first start out because you don't really understand the systems, and the game really sort of rewards preparation and understanding what you're getting yourself into when you run into a cave full of dudes. I think this video actually ends with me getting, 2 hit by just some random dudes on the road, but it's good. It's the thing I like about it is a lot of smart design choices. So what you'll see here is, you see how he's running along the little road. You just hold the A button down, and the horse. Well, okay, this is a really bad example. You try and hold down the A button as you're running, and the horse sort of autocorrects and runs along a path, so that the moving around is a bit easy.
I need to talk to you.
So yeah, so what you do is you investigate all the witnesses, and they usually give you some clues, and then you'll go somewhere and you'll investigate monster tracks or whatever. But it's good. It's real satisfying, especially because later on in the game, and this is about halfway through the game, later on in the game, the quests become a lot more involved, a lot more interesting too, because sometimes you end up in a scenario where it's like, yeah, this is like a critter that isn't necessarily hurting anybody, but it's not a person. So what do? I am of the disposition where I let the nice little monsters be on their way, but I don't know if I'm missing out. It's that player-driven choice dilemma, is you always feel like you're not making the right choice. So is the map. So as you can see here, there's a lot to do. This is just some nowhere island that I think isn't relevant to the main plot at all. This is sort of like the Viking archipelago that I'm currently playing on. But yeah, so you see here, the horse is sort of tracking along the path a little bit. Maybe through town is a bad example, but you'll see in a second. But really interesting. You pick up lots of flowers and stuff on the side of the road, and you'll see that on the mini-map, the little leaf icons. And you use that to make all sorts of potions and bombs and oils and poisons and all sorts of things. So it's neat. It rewards you knowing what you're going to do in advance a lot more than most games do. And honestly, you run along the forest here, and you can see the horse sort of correcting to get onto the road here. You'll find stuff anywhere, like here. Oh, here's an abandoned watchtower. As you can see, it's not very forgiving. But if we fast forward a bit to here we are, another try where I don't just die on the road. So, little later on, I found the caves. So now I have to explore them with my Witcher senses. You hold on a trigger and you see, so those little sound circles that you saw, where if you hold on the trigger, you can see the noises that the monsters are making to sort of give you some heads up if you're about to walk, around a corner. So you can see there's a lot of guys coming. So, and a little trail of blood that he's following. So it's neat. It reminds me a lot of the Batman Arkham games in terms of doing the investigations, although I guess in this case you're doing a lot more investigation than you actually did in the Batman games. But Batman hasn't really been a detective for a while, I guess. Thanks, Christian Bale. No, I'm kidding. Those movies are great. Yeah, so the one problem with the game is that it's a lot of, I have to stop and pick up every single thing that I find, especially because all of it is crafting ingredients that you use to make all of your weapon upgrades and your oils and everything. So you do feel like you have to stop all the time if you want to not fall behind. Because sometimes it'll be like, oh, well, that's the box that had the potion that you've been looking for the last 15 hours, and you'll never find it again. So leveled up here, that's good. Oh, I remember this. I just upgraded my sweet set of duds to the level 20 version, so good job, Phil. I knew you could do it. So the thing about Gary as a Witcher, they carry two swords. One is steel for people, and one is silver for monsters. So he walks around. It looks very Final Fantasy VII here, especially with that haircut. Your beard grows back if you keep waiting, and you wait and meditate to refill all your potions and everything. But I've given him the elf haircut, which combined with his new outfit and his clean-shaven appearance, he looks very much like a bad guy in Final Fantasy VII or something. This is something, yes. Anyway, keep exploring. So the little red icons are sort of the clues that you interact with. They give you some sort of feedback or tips about what's going on, but usually you just keep on going. Swimming, I think you're going to see some swimming. It's very neat. The whole game is very fleshed out. You feel like you're exploring a pretty thoroughly thought out world, and that is from beginning to end. And this is a minor side quest, but the whole thing is very polished, and you don't feel like there's any filler content at all, which is a rarity for these kinds of games. Okay, so here's an example. So that's the really, really, really good crossbow that I just randomly found on a skeleton in a cave somewhere. And if you want the really good crossbow, it's either look it up online to figure out where it is, or just hope that you'll get something else. And there's a lot of gear randomization, so I'm sure it would be fine, but it's just a little disappointing. So again, you follow the trail. A lot of the game is you trying to pick up tracks that you've lost and that sort of thing, which is good. You feel like you're hunting the monsters more so than I think you do in a lot of games. So it's frustrating now that I've played it and I know which way you're supposed to go. I'm just go that way. It's like looking at a picture of yourself or listening to the sound of your own voice, which is ironic considering the fact that I'm recording my own voice. I forget what the monster is here. So these are just sort of the frog people. These are the generic monsters. Call them drowners. These are your bread and butter. Oh, so I think that's a flammable barrel I'm trying to explode. Nope, that's the ice bomb fell. Doesn't really work. Oh, there it goes. Hey, look at that. Kind of worked for one. So yeah, you have a bunch of little garbage magic spells that you can use. They're not very good, but situationally, they can be very helpful. So there's a little shield and a little fire blast and a little, hey, you're confused. So it's pretty good. Lots of options. You never feel like you have one way to solve a problem, and you specialize in certain paths. So my guy is specialized in jumping around and being real fast. You can specialize in the magic and etc., etc. But yeah, there we go. Witcher 3. Hope you all enjoyed it. There'll be more coming, I'm sure. So